Hello, everybody. Welcome to Manifesting with Tarot. Happy Monday. I'm so happy to be back this week, and I'm super excited to get on this live feed with you and start talking about the energies of the week, things that we can expect, and how we can put our energy forward for the week to try to get into a better, more balanced place. We just came off of the full moon in Aries, which was a very interesting full moon. And yeah, it didn't have its normal sparkliness. There was a little bit of a more tense moon, I felt, but still some good moments. So we're gonna try to see how we can utilize these energies though for this week. And one of the things that I really picked up on this full moon that just passed was how, like, with the two planets in Scorpio right now, with Mercury and Venus right there, and then with the moon in Aries, there was this like sense of like very much getting to the point, and sense of really just needing to I don't know, like tell it like it is, or just be very like exact, and not a lot of like wishy-washiness, but just like being like very upfront or something. So I was noticing in my readings this weekend that if the messages got a little bit, if there was too much information in the message, it almost got like muddy. It wasn't as like precise and to the point. So this week I kind of wanted to do something a little bit more to the point, you could say, with the readings, and not pull so many cards and not do so much of community reading, but kind of just zero in on the exact thing that we really just need to focus on for the signs. So let's just jump right into it. But before we do that, I just want to say thank you so much for purchasing readings during the Libra season promotion. That is over now, but don't be afraid to purchase a reading. You can still go online to Astrolata. All those readings are still available to you. And I will put the link down below. And if you have a reading that you purchased, don't worry, it's still coming to you. Still working on them, okay? So, all right. Hi, guys. Hello. Thanks for being here. Here we go. Aries. Okay, Aries, your card. Your card is the Eight of Swords. This tells me right now what you really need to focus your energy on is getting out of your head, getting to a place where you realize that the thought processes, the anxiety, the stress that's being caused right now, there is some type of like a pattern that's being kind of implemented here right now, and that you need to kind of see a little bit deeper into it. Kind of take a step back and realize the places that you're kind of doing the same thing that you always do. If you're having a feeling, especially, that you're like, oh, definitely have felt this thing before, definitely felt like I've been in this moment before, and you kind of feel like you're just like creating patterns and patterns. Right now, you really need to start addressing what's going on with the dialogue in your head, and start breaking it down. And a really good way to do that is, number one, being alone, but number two, being able to actually like sit there and almost like write it out, like write almost, even if you just like, because we're talking about being to the point, right? So not even like writing out sentences, but coming in and writing out little like bullet points on how you really have been feeling, and the steps almost that have kind of led you to that position you are in right now. Because right now, this really tells me that there is kind of like this jail that you've made for your own self, with your own mind. There's this sense of being locked in and being trapped in something. And really the message behind this card is that you have the power, that you have the ability to step out of that scenario that you've kind of created, or that you've kind of imagined, that this is not even really there, but with the way you've been thinking, with the way you've been processing, with the fears that you've been allowing to creep in right now, Aries, this is kind of been created for you. It's almost like this is just a figment of your imagination, and that once you realize it, all of this will dissolve around you. All of this will kind of just disintegrate or dissolve around you, and you'll realize that you actually have the power, or you'll realize that you weren't as trapped in this situation, or you'll realize that there's more solutions than you were giving yourself credit for within it. So really holding yourself accountable to the patterns that you create, or the patterns that you don't even realize you create, that but you find yourself like sitting in them again. And you did have this really tough full moon in your sign right now, so it wasn't such an easy one. There was some trines though with Jupiter, but still wasn't the easiest full moon this time around. Okay guys, moving on to Taurus. Oh my goodness, a lot of anxiety this week for people. So Taurus, you have the Nine of Swords. This isn't a very similar card to what Aries just got here, but this is more about kind of like night terrors and anxiety that's keeping you awake. It's kind of like about having bad dreams this week. So what you really need to focus on this week, Taurus, is really getting some rest, and some really good rest. Like if that means going to bed an extra hour or two earlier, just because you might be tossing and turning a little bit more, or you might like wake up in the middle of the night. If you've been waking up every night, some people wake up at like 3, or for me, I've been waking up at 5 in the morning. I'm a Taurus moon, so this definitely is applying to me. But just waking up at a very strange hour every morning when you're not really fully rested, and then it's kind of taking you a long time to get back to sleep, because then the thoughts start happening, right? And whatever it is, that one little trigger thought that as soon as you wake up stirs you, and then you're up for the rest of the night. So this is what you really need to focus on this week, Taurus, is kind of giving yourself the opportunity, even if that means you can't calm the nerves, or like within themselves, at least giving yourself the more time to get some rest if you're going to be experiencing this. But another way that you can get through this, other than just giving yourself more time to sleep, Taurus, is creating a dream journal for yourself. There's a lot of times that we wake up and we had like this very strange dream, or even if it's not the dream, but we wake up with a weird feeling, right? And then that's why we start kind of thinking about the weird, stressful, triggering thoughts in the middle of the night instead. So very similarly, like I said for Aries, writing things down, and just like I said, we're in this very like kind of direct, just exact to the point energy. You don't have to get into like write a novel about it, but just like write some pinpoints in the dream, things that really spoke to you, or things that really continued with you when you were awake. But dream journals are really interesting because a lot of times that we just wake up and we kind of forget, and then we just move on. But if you can really process during the day, if you can kind of look back on it and start seeing the patterns of your thoughts, of your dreams, a lot of times we can wake up with anxiety and we don't even know why, and it's really because of the things that we've been almost living in the other world, right? The things that we don't really deal with in this world, so they kind of get suppressed, and then they kind of come through the unconscious world. So letting that be a space that you don't only just process what's happening during the day, but process what's kind of creeping through, what's kind of seeping through at night for you as well, guys. All right, I hope that helps, Taurus. Gemini. Okay, Gemini. All right, Gemini, your card is the Queen of Wands. This is really passionate, fiery, playful energy. This is a really tapping in to a part of yourself, whether you're male or female, the part of yourself that's very fun loving and kind of like just can laugh at the crazy of life, right? There's a sense of like every time I think of this card, I think of like almost like a horse riding in the wind, just like really enjoying their life, just galloping in the wind, having a good time. There's this really sense of like freedom and lightness and passion that comes with this card. So really tapping into this place for Geminis this week, allowing yourself to really feel like you are unencumbered, feeling that there nothing can really hold you down, and really allowing yourself to be light almost. Even though this is passion, there's this sense of not being like held down by anything. It's not a very heavy card, even though it is a passionate card. It's almost it's a card that's a little bit more of an air passion, I want to say, even though this is a fire sign, but there's a sense of air with it, of being very much something that almost can't be grounded, even though I don't know if that's the right word for it, but I don't want to say that it's flaky, but more just being in touch and so free that you can't like be held down by the worries of life. This person is very much like a boho queen, and she's very in touch with the esoteric. She has her cat there, and there's just a really big sense with the sunflowers, a big sense of positive energy here. So really staying positive, feeling free, allowing your thoughts to be light. And this is, with wand energy, Gemini, I always say that wand energy has a lot of Sagittarian energy, and this is your opposite sign here. So there's something, even though it's your opposite, there's that center gravity part that it kind of holds you guys both together. There's that feeling of optimism that I think Geminis and Sagittarians kind of share. And so this is going to be something that I think is a little bit easier for you to tap into this week. So if there's things that you're dealing with this week that you're feeling down, or you don't know how to approach a certain situation, or you don't know how to act in a certain situation, or you just need the guidance on like what to do with your life this week, just keep it light, keep it airy, tap into your passions, and don't let anything like bring you down. Let that energy really just bring you up. Stay very positive. And even if you're not feeling it, like fake it till you make it type feeling. Like this person has this sense of just like really, having it all and being on top of it all with her passion. It almost makes her like untouchable. Okay, hoped that helped with you guys, Gemini. Oops. Hi everybody, hi. Hello. Oops, my goodness, I am dropping my cards a lot. I didn't ask anything yet, so. Okay, Cancers. Okay, Cancer. All right, Cancer, you have the sun coming through for you this week to really focus on your energy on the truth. The truth is the word that's just like pounding in my head right now. This card generally has a lot of connotations, obviously with Leo energy. It's the sun, a lot of fifth house energy, a lot of creative energy, a lot of optimism as well. But for me right now, I'm really getting this sense that this card for you is about the truth, because what the sun also does is it shines its light on a house or a situation or whatever it is in your life, and it brings the light there. So nothing can really hide when the sun comes through, Cancer. So if there's secrets that you've been dealing with, right? We have all this Mercury in Scorpio and Venus in Scorpio, and there's a lot of like secret energy and people hiding things, and people even being suspicious as well. So right now you might find this week that you actually get the truth about something, that something really comes to light for you. And even if it is something hard, even if it's like a hard truth to swallow, this is going to be something that ultimately does bring happiness, that ultimately will bring like a sense of relief in a way. A lot of times when we're in the darkness of something, it's almost that the darkness is the thing that almost keeps us worried, that keeps us more anxious. And finally, when we get the truth, then it's like, oh, well, I don't, all the scenarios in your head that is really what anxiety is, right? All the catastrophes and worst case scenarios that you're creating, that's almost worse than just knowing the truth, and then you can kind of finally rest your mind, right? So oh good, I'm glad you guys are feeling it. So this card this week is all about the truth, and not being afraid of it, and kind of just jumping into that light. And whether that's speaking your truth, whether that's straight up asking somebody else for theirs, or even if it's just going to come and just land in your lap, this is what you really just need to focus on. Like, be searching for the truth, the truthfulness in every moment this week for you, Cancer. Okay, Leos. All right, Leo. You have the Justice card. This card is very, very karmic. It's about whatever you've given. Now you're going to kind of get the judgment, if you can say. That's kind of confusing because there is a judgment card. In a lot of ways, I feel like this card should be called Judgment. The other one should be called like Second Chances or something, or Rebirth. But the Justice card is very karmic energy. There's a lot of Libra energy with this. You can see the scales, because it's about fairness. It's about whatever you have put out there. Now you're going to reap what you sow. So this week there might be a feeling, if you put out good energy this week, you might be coming with rewards. This card can bring a lot of rewards. This card can bring a lot of abundance. And if you've been waiting on something, this card can like show you that you're finally going to get it. Now, on the opposite hand, if you know that you've been acting in not your highest vibration, and you've kind of either spoke at a turn or did something wrong to somebody, or whatever it was, have been a little bit shady, it's okay. We've all been there, right? There's no judgment with that. But this card is going to come back around and kind of give you the lesson, or kind of give you, I don't want to say like give you what you deserve, because that almost seems cruel, because I don't think energy is trying to be cruel, but it's almost it's going to teach you. It's going to kind of finalize and put a button on that energy that was first started before. So with this, there's a lot of sense of it can go either way in a lot of ways, but whatever it is, it's very, very, very karmic. And so there's a lot of clearing after this. That's the good news. Whether it is good or bad, there's a sense of clearing the energy once this moment passes for you guys this week. And another way you can go about this is if you do feel like you've been, maybe you weren't working in your highest vibration before, this is a good time for you guys now, Leos, to kind of maybe tip the scale in your favor. Oh my goodness. Whoa, that was scary. Tip the scale in your favor by doing good deeds, doing something nice for somebody. There's a sense that there's always that final plea that you can give the judge, right? That you can kind of say your piece and let the judge know almost that you're sorry, that you've learned your lesson in a way. So if you can kind of go about that, if you do feel like you might be sowing some more negative energy in your life, then there's still a second chance. There's still a chance here that you can turn it in your favor. Okay, I hope that helped, Leos. Okay, Virgos. Oh, I'm sorry to hear that you broke up with your partner. energy. And, someone just said that they broke up with their partner, and there was this really deep sense of like cutting ties, or, Aries is that sign of the warrior, and Mars, there's still Mars in Aries, right? And there's always swords and things like that. We're getting a lot of sword energies. There's a lot of cutting off sometimes with Aries energy. Okay, Virgos. So the Four of Swords. This is really about you guys taking some rest. And this is going to be something that I think you guys like to hear, because I think Virgos are a little bit more introverted usually. I know a ton of Virgos that can be the life of the party, and they're hilarious because they have such that great dry humor. But I think deep down a lot of Virgos still love to be by themselves. So this is kind of good news for you guys. This is more about stepping back, taking some deep rest. Literally you could just go sleep for a long time. But this is more about kind of taking some type of meditative state and just being alone and kind of quieting the mind, quieting your energy, and getting very grounded. This person's laying down on stone, right? And their body is being kind of weighed down by gravity, and they're being supported by the stone, the heavy stone underneath them. So there's this deep sense of heaviness and groundedness within this relaxation of the thoughts, relaxation of the mind. This is a 4, and 4s, they're a little bit more grounded. They tend to have a weight with them with 4s. So just take some time for yourself this week, Virgo. This is nothing too heavy for you to focus on. If there's one thing that you really need to zero in on, it's just, sitting back and chillaxing really for you guys this week. And so hopefully that speaks to you. Just kind of take some me time for yourself, guys. All right, Virgo, I hope that helped. Okay, Libras. Libra. So your card this week is the Queen of Pentacles. This card is such a card about self-love. This is going to really speak to you in a lot of ways, but in your sister sign of Taurus, where Venus rules more in her earthly form, when her more fertile state, her more it's her earth incarnation there. So for you guys, this is really going to be about being a person that is more in touch with your own self-care, so that you can really provide and have more to give for others. So the one thing that you could really focus on this week as a Libra is not so much what you normally focus on, which is others, right? And the community, or your counterpart, or the search for your counterpart, or whatever it is for Libra, right? This week for you is kind of a call to take care of yourself. I always say this is like a card that's kind of like Beyonce in a little bit, because it's such a beautiful card. There's flowers, and there's this beautiful landscape, and everything's growing, and I just am always reminded of that photo shoot Beyonce did when she was pregnant, and there was just this beautiful floral scene around her. So it's your week to really just kind of give focus to yourself, give confidence to yourself, give this could be maybe you take some time for your beauty routine this week. It can still be things that you really are interested in, even though it's not going to be partner oriented, but it can be things that you're interested in by focusing on your aesthetic, focusing on your skin, focusing on your health routine, your beauty routine, whatever it is that gives you a little bit more sparkle, that gives you a feeling that you're really creating abundance within just yourself, within your own skin, not necessarily with money. You might have a great money week as well. If you're looking for, if what you're looking for your general reading, it has to do with career and money and things like that, this could be a great week to go out there and produce for yourself. But on a more intimate sense, this is more about, someone said Empress energy. These cards are very, 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 very similar with Empress and the Queen of Pentacles. They're those two cards in the deck that are very, very similar. But right here, this is just really about focusing on yourself, giving yourself self-love this week, and feeling beautiful and feeling very grounded is another important part of this. About this card, that the Queen of Pentacles is very leveled emotionally. So there's this sense for you guys of being very balanced and not feeling like overwhelmed by any one thing or the other, because you're kind of just really focusing on the self right now, Libras. So I hope that helps, and I hope you can really easily tap into that. Okay, Scorpios. Okay, Scorpios. So you do have Venus in your sign right now, and this is the Ace of Cups. This is a card of love. The cup is flowing over, right, with water. There's this new sense of an emotional upheaval when you have the Ace of Cups coming in. This is a really good sign for new beginnings in terms of your emotions, to kind of feel like a refresher in a lot of ways. So if you've been feeling if you've been feeling bad, and if you've been looking for love or anything like that, this is a great card to see for you in terms of having something new come into your life and kind of make you feel like that sense that you have so much to give, when you're kind of like first in love and things like that, and your energy is just like flowing over. This is what this card really represents. And there's this sense of peace too. We do have the dove coming in there. So there's that sense of just like this really deep content energy, along with just feeling like you have so much to give that it's just continuously flowing over. So this is going to be a great week for you. And so if you haven't been feeling that, and if you don't see yourself having this like emotionally great week coming in, this is really then a call to make sure that you are tapping into things that would give you that. It doesn't always have to be a love reading with things like that, but this could be, you coming in and making sure that you're not going to be down in the dumps this week, by like making sure that you always have that great playlist on, that just, whatever, or that style of music that always just gets you pumped or whatever. But this is really about focusing on the happiness, focusing on your emotional health, focusing on things that will kind of give you like I want to say like an emotional reboot or like a restart for you guys. So if Aries, this is a really good sign. I love when I see the Ace of Cups, and I hope you guys enjoy this energy this week. Sorry, Scorpio, right? Did I say Scorpio? All right, Sagittarius. All right, Sagittarius, the Two of Cups. All right, well, this card is about partnership, straight up. This card is about, I wouldn't say love because it's a very heavy feeling, but this is more about maybe like and crushing, and definitely a sense of like two people coming together and sharing like their emotions, giving to each other, drinking, like sharing each other, sharing the cup of emotions, of love in a way. I don't want to say to love too much, but because it's not the Lovers card, but it is the Two of Cups. It's another one of those cards that there's two of them in the deck, kind of, but it's definitely about partnership. So this is a great week to go out there if you want to start dating, or if if you're if you want to like go on a little weekend trip, or even if you're just at work and you have a project with somebody, things are going to go really well for you. There's going to be a sense of being able to collaborate very easily this week, whether it's in relationships, whether it's just at home with your family. You know, whether you get in touch with your best friend and you just have some really great moments and you just feel really intimately connected again this week. There's just this sense of just mirroring that that's really beautiful. There's just that intimate connection when it's just two people. You know, it's not like that a big group setting, but it's just like two people really having like a moment together and really seeing each other and really feeling each other. So enjoy it this week. This is exciting. I love when this card comes up. It's one of my favorite cards. And you know, don't run from it, Sagittarius, but enjoy the feeling of, you know, of being seen and being heard, and also of hearing and seeing somebody else as well. Okay, Capricorns. Capricorn. So you have the Star card, Capricorn. This is a card about hope. It's a card about the future. It's a card about progressive energy. This is a card that represents Aquarius. So there's this sense of your dreams, right? Your hopes, your wishes, you know, like the 11th house. It is a wish fulfilled card here, and it's about keeping your eye on what you really do want, not giving up hope, knowing that there's almost like this. It's a very beautiful card. It's one of my favorites because, you know, the moon can have this very like intuitive quality to card, but the Star card, it's really this beacon of hope. There's no darkness to it. There's really just this sense of being guided and really being able to listen to your own intuition so that you are moving in a way that you're progressing forward, that you're listening to your intuition instead of having your, like, there be fear within it. Because sometimes when we get the moon card, it's intuition, but there's almost this sense that there is fear or darkness or this unknown that kind of is unsettling with the moon card. But with the Star, this is like an intuition that really guides you to a safe place that takes you to the next part of your journey, that takes you to the next part of your evolution, that really expands you, that opens you up, and that gives you what you've been hoping for this week. So this is all you have to focus on, is keeping your eye on the prize. Every time I see this card, just keep your eye on the prize. Remember what you were doing. Remember why you took that position, and remember why you did that thing, or whatever it is. Like it's keeping the focus on the future a little bit. Sometimes we can get very into the very, you know, mundane, minute details of the day that we kind of forget why we even started this journey, or why we're even in this process, or why we're even doing it in the first place. You know, even, you know, and in terms of relationships. This is the same thing, like keeping your goal of the relationship. Why did you get into this relationship? Did you know, keep your eye on the prize in that way. If there's, you know, any fighting or conflict that you've been dealing with, especially with the moon and full moon in Aries, right? Remember what the original plan was, and remember what the original feeling, where you wanted to go with this person, things like that, instead of focusing on like I don't want to say like the torture of being in conflict with somebody. That can kind of really drag you away from the what's really important, which was how much you were astounded by them and how much you actually wanted to be with them, that you kind of put all things to the side so that you could really like make this person your boo, right? So this is about just focusing on what you really wanted, focusing on what the real deal is, and not getting so worked up about, you know, the hours and the minutes between all of this, okay? Okay, and now for Aquarius. Ooh, Aquarius. Aquarius. All right, repeat card. So we have the Ace of Cups for Aquarius too. So this is really going to be a feeling for you of being happy this week. I really am getting this sense of like joy in my chest for Aquarius, of just feeling like very like gushy, I want to say, and like and giddy. There's like this sense of like wanting to laugh with this card right now. So, you know, really focusing on the things that make you happy this week and not tapping so much in. You know, we do have all this serious energy we right now are experiencing a square from Pluto with the sun, and we have, you know, two signs in Scorpio, which I'm not saying Scorpios are dark or anything, but they're definitely intense, right? So there's a little bit of heavier energy, right? And it's getting closer to Halloween too, and I always feel like the vibes like that. But this is really about staying light and happy for you, and really focusing on allowing for new opportunities, allowing for a sense of you know, a sense of joy to be in your life this week. And there's a lot of times I feel like Aquarians get a little bit like standoffish when those things are offered to them, but not letting that be where your mind kind of wanders to with this new situation coming, and allowing yourself to just enjoy what is right now, and not letting yourself get too worked up about, you know, the fact that you are experiencing feelings right now, or that you're feeling a little bit more gushy than you normally do. So tap into it, enjoy it. And last but not least, we do have Pisces. Thank you guys for being here. Really enjoyed tapping into the energy with you guys. I know it was a bit of an exhausting week, but I really appreciate everyone being here and adding to the vibration, whether it was positive or not. Okay, Pisces. Okay, Pisces, you have the Ace of Swords. This is about creating new thought patterns. This is about creating new ideas, being given new information. This is about communication. This is about cutting away ties, broken ties, or things that have been mucky, and you know, kind of cutting away the BS in a lot of ways. You know, just getting everything in your life. So if there's things that you do not no longer want in your life, this is going to be a great week for you to just be like, you know what, done, cut out of my life. You know, another way we can really go about seeing this card is that you're going to start exploring your thought patterns a lot more. You're going to start exploring the different ways that you come to conclusions, or the different ways that your brain starts developing scenarios or sees a scenario. And you're gonna really experience a kind of like an evolution of thought this week, whether this is someone coming in and just dropping a bomb of truth on you, or, you know, you just taking the time to process a little bit, or you're just, you know, you're in the shower and just suddenly you're just like, boom, here comes that thought. You know, a lot of ways this card can bring a lot of intuition too, especially for Pisces. But there's this sense of just like this coming in out of nowhere, and even if it's just the tiniest seed, which is generally the case with Ace energy, this tiniest seed of change, or this tiniest seed of a thought that will eventually bring you to a new like understanding, a new way of seeing things that will help you kind of get to the next step, that will help you, you know, either calm your emotions on the place you are right now, because it's all about the thoughts before the emotions. Whatever you're thinking is the reason why you're feeling that way. So especially for Pisces that are so emotional and do have, you know, our sister sign having some have Mercury and Venus in it right now, allowing yourself to really change that thought pattern and not be so resistant to ideas that might be different from yours. There's a lot of times that you can hear something that you really don't like, and that you just feel like deep down in your bones, you know it's not true, but there's something to be learned And there's something to be gained by taking even a moment to entertain the thought that maybe, not that you're wrong, but that there's a different perspective, and how fascinating almost that different perspective is from yours, even if it's so opposite, even if it's so different from the things that you believe. There's something to be learned about that thought process, and there's something you can kind of take from it, and there's something that you can even gather from yourself by eventually allowing yourself to swallow something different than that you would normally believe. So anyway, guys, that is my guidance for the week. I hope you enjoyed it. Thank you so much again for tapping in. Thank you also for time stamping for me every week. I really appreciate that. I don't have the time to always time stamp. I do it every once in a blue moon when I can do it. But sorry if you're one of the people who get mad that I don't. And thank you to the people who do it, and save my booty. So I really, really appreciate that, guys. Yeah, love and light to all of you, and I hope you guys have a blessed week. Don't forget to book a reading if you're interested, or if you're going through something and you need some guidance, I'm here for you. I'll put the link down below, and you guys have a great, great week, guys. Bye-bye.